as we mentioned in the film, and Julie also mentioned, we use community placemaking, the community placemaking approach when we work with communities in urban Scotland mainly. And that's an approach that originates from a Project for Public Spaces in New York. So in a nutshell, the community placemaking approach is based on the principle that successful places are characterised by lively, secure, and distinctive public spaces that function for the people that use them. And that we need to work with people who live in or use a place to discover their aspirations and needs in order to create great places. This wheel here is one that we've been using a lot with young people and youth workers and other adults supporting young people in the Young Place Changers programme. It simply asks what makes a great place. And then through a place evaluation process, we've been getting young people and youth workers to look at their local places and ask questions of them. So there are questions around, are places sociable? There are questions around how well is a place used? Questions about accessibility and linkages. So is a place easy to access? And when you get there, is it easy to move through the place? And is it well linked to other places that you want to get to in your community? And also, very importantly, does the place feel good? Is it a place where you want to hang out? Do you see other people doing so? Is there nice things like that shows you that a community cares for this place? And that, coupled with the youth work principles that Michelle, Youth Scotland, will tell us more about later, really forms the basis of the Young Place Changers approach. So the Young Place Changers programme took its current form in March 2018. We have been working in this area for a long time. And there are two projects that especially have shaped the programme. And the first one was this one, Community Placemaking Young People Taking the Lead, which was a project that we did together with Youth Scotland in 2015. I was quite surprised to find that it was so long ago. And here we use the co-production approach, working with young people to develop and pilot a training and support programme that would enable young people to get involved in the place where they lived and transform a place and their relationship with it, and also with the wider community. And we did this with a group of young people from Youth Scotland's National Advisory Group, young facilitators, who work with staff from Green Space Scotland and Youth Scotland to develop the programme. And the starting point for this was really Youth Scotland's established, at that point, 3-day residential training programme, which brought young people together from youth groups from across Scotland. And following a weekend like that, the local groups then planned place consultations and events and developed ideas for improving local green spaces, supported by the young facilitators, Green Space Scotland and Youth Scotland staff. Importantly as well, the participants from the local youth groups gained a variety of practical, organisational, social and team building skills that were awarded and accredited through a Youth Achievement Award. The other project that was crucial for the development of the Young Place Changers programme was the Dunfermline Town Centre pilot, which we did in 2016-17. Here, young facilitators from Youth Scotland helped young people from 2 youth groups in Dunfermline come up with a plan for their local park and also their high street. They were supported by a senior youth worker from Youth Scotland and also Green Space Scotland member staff. And we worked with the umbrella body for youth work in Fife Youth First Fife. And the images you can see on the screen as one of the ideas that the young people came up with through their place evaluation project. And it resulted in the building of a small outdoor stage on a gap site in Dunfermline High Street. And the Community Council liked the idea so much. And well, I should say as well, the young people took the idea to the Fresh Air Festival, which placed in the local park every year, and consulted with the wider community on the idea. And through that process, the Community Council liked the idea so much that they actually helped fund the building of the stage, and the young people helped with the build and also especially helped paint it when it was there. And it's still there. That was an event that took place on it. The stage is a small wooden stage. It doesn't always look like you can see there in the picture, but it's there for people to use and for buskers to use as well. One of the reasons the young people came up with this idea was there was a festival in town happening in pubs where people could go in and hear local musicians play music. But of course, as young people, they couldn't. So they were very focused on, can we have something outdoor? And also instigated that things would happen in the old, what's the place in the park? Bandstand, so that everybody could enjoy the music. But then finally in 2018, the National Young Place Changers Programme took off, supported by Scottish Government and the National Heritage Lottery Fund. It was, as you know, a Green Space Scotland and Youth Scotland partnership. We employed a Young Place Changers Development Officer, Angela Horton, that many of you will have met and have worked with. Unfortunately, she can't be with us today, but hopefully she'll get to see the recordings of our get-together. We ran residential training courses, but also a lot of outreach training and support to groups. We had an ideas fund and seed code fund for groups to apply to and to then use the funding to do local projects with. We had an ideas fund advisory board, and we set out to develop a professional skills bank and a peer support programme. So at this stage, and looking back, it's always interesting to look at the numbers. So at the last count, I thought I would just share some of these numbers with you. We know that we have been training around 70 adults in supporting roles in place evaluation and the place standard tool and all these things. Supporting roles is there because it's not only youth workers, it's also been members of community councils, or development trusts, or CLD staff from local authorities. So people who have been supporting young people to get involved in place discussions and decisions. We've had 160 core young people trained and many more young people involved through local project happening. We've awarded 22 SeedCon grant projects. So here groups could apply to up to £500 to do a small initial project to start the process. And we've awarded 14 Ideas Fund grants. These are larger projects, groups, a lot of them after having done a SeedCon project have undertaken. And you could be awarded up to £3,000 as part of that fund. We know there's been about 1,000 local people at events young people have organised as part of their projects. And we have developed 2 amazing toolkits, so we think, that we will talk about later as well. That's just a few numbers at this stage. Another key achievement of the programme has been our contribution to the development of the Place Standard tool for children and young people. This development was taken forward by Place Scotland and A Place in Childhood, APIC, on behalf of Scottish Government over the last couple of years. We've been a member of the advisory group around this project, and we've also helped test the draft tools with young people in Alyth and Perthshire and young people in Lamhill and Glasgow. And Sam will tell us more about the Place Standard tool in his presentation. So what have we learned so far? We're still to do the final big evaluation and think big thoughts, but at this point, we thought it would be useful just to share a few key lessons with you. So in terms of successes, well, we definitely know that the process has been empowering for young people and for youth workers. We've seen many, many imaginative projects and new approaches developed locally. And importantly, the projects have been relevant and practical, and they have really connected young people to their local places. We also know that projects have changed hearts and minds in some of the communities where young people have worked. So as Angela said on the film, this idea of seeing young people as part of the solution instead of young people as being an issue or a challenge in a local area. And we've developed 2 toolkits that we're really excited for everyone to start using when working with young people in place. But of course, there's been some challenges. It was much harder to get applications for the 2 funds that we had than we had expected. And also when groups did have funding from us, we had to give a lot of project support to groups. And also being a national programme with 1 development officer, that was a challenge. And we have to admit at this stage that we didn't have the capacity to develop and support the Professional Skills Bank and the peer support programme really in the way that we would have wanted to do. So that's one for the next Young Place Changers programme to look at again. So what next for Young Place Changers? So really, the national programme, as we know it right now, is coming to an end, but Young Place Changers don't end here, will not end here. We're already piloting young people, place and climate emergency workshops and projects. And in relation to that, we are working in Fife with Youth First Fife on Young Place Changers Fife. And we're doing that currently funded by the OVO Foundation. And we have a focus on developing net zero plans with the young people as part of that project. We're still working on the Perth and Kinross Young Place Changers programme with Youth Scotland, supported by the Ganachie Trust. And we hope that's a relationship that can continue in years to come. And we're just about to begin a Young Place Changers programme as part of the Edinburgh's Thriving Green Spaces Partnership. Oh, and it was just to say the pictures you can see on this slide are from the Rumpus Room in Glasgow, which took their project, their Ideas Fund project, which was about doing up a derelict car park and turning it into a garden next to their hub. But from that project, the young people and youth workers and artists in Rumpus Room started looking at food poverty, climate justice, so hence the Turning Panic into Power Act on Climate. So they started as a garden and ended up as climate activists. And local place plans, LPPs. It's really interesting to think that 3 years ago, we thought that local place plans were just around the corner and that the young place changers we would be supporting would have the opportunity to really get stuck in and get involved in developing these local place plans across Scotland. It took a bit longer, considerably longer to get to this stage, but now local place plans are formally in the Planning Scotland Act 2019. So we think there's great opportunities here to use our tools on young people in place in relation to developing the local place plans in the years to come. Yes, and do it yourself. There are plenty of opportunities for everyone to work with young people in place, and making use of the resources that we have developed with Youth Scotland and the Rumpus Room. And both these toolkits resources are available on our website. We've got the Young Place Changers Toolkit, and we've got the This Must Be Our Place resources on the website. So really would encourage you to have a good look at them and see if you can use them in your practice going forward. Before I hand over to Sam, or back to Julie, I think, I just wanted to give the last word of my presentation to a youth worker from Brechin in Angus. And the project up there, Street Games, these three guys that you see in the picture really took that on and brought their youth group with them and put on an outdoor cinema event. And this was before these were so popular during lockdowns and between lockdowns. They just did it because there was nothing in their minds really happening for young people in Brechin, and they wanted to just do something good. And they had around 200 people turn up for the outdoor cinema event. So Joe from Brechin wrote to us as an email. I would like to personally thank you and the Fellow Project for offering my young people this opportunity. Things like this is what makes young ones feel supported and that someone believes in them. For a couple of burly 18-year-olds, that is gold.